Hi loves, Lauren here. Welcome to another practice with me. I hope you're all doing really well. Today we're going to move through an entirely seated practice. So we're not going to move any higher than we are now. It's going to be a very grounding practice and focusing on a lot of stretch, particularly for the hamstrings as well, with a couple of twists thrown in there also. So hopefully this practice is going to leave us feeling grounded, but also maybe feeling that little bit more loose within our bodies, okay? So when you're ready, feel free to come meet me on the mat. Find that comfortable seat for you. It doesn't have to be cross-legged as I am now. You might prefer to stretch the legs out in front, maybe have a little bend through the knees, maybe you even come to kneeling. And also feel free to welcome in any props or any support that you might wish to have for your practice. So any blocks, anything like that. I'm not going to necessarily teach with blocks today, just to make it accessible for those that don't have blocks at home. But you are more than welcome to bring them in whenever you just want to give yourself a little bit more support, okay? So from here, let's nestle those sit bones down into the ground, palms to hands, land down towards the knees. Let's take a moment just to take a deep breath in, lift those shoulders up towards the ears. As we exhale, we're going to softly slide them down and away. Beautiful. Hopefully that allowed us to find that relatively tall spine. And if it feels okay to you, let's close off the eyes and close off the outside world. And taking a few moments just to settle in here, settle into your little practice today, no matter what time of day you might be practicing this in. So you might be practicing this during your lunch break. Perhaps this is the first bit of movement you are going to be taking today. Or perhaps this is what you've chosen to end your day with. So again, let's just settle into wherever we might be now. Start to really tune into kind of these internal processes of the body, all these internal sensations that might be happening right now. So as you bring yourselves to sit here, perhaps we notice places of discomfort in the body. Or perhaps the body feels relatively at ease for you today. As always, when we arrive on the mat, it's almost an opportunity to meet yourself for the very first time. So meet yourself here and see what we find, as always, without any judgment, without wanting to change anything about ourselves, but accepting everything for what it is. So yes, if we do notice those places of discomfort or maybe achiness, maybe even tension, just see that it's there. Maybe send the breath to those places. And then just start to soften as best as we can. Imagine maybe that there's this little tiny droplet of softness that's just landed at the very crown of your head. And as that droplet lands, it causes ripples and waves. Waves of softness just gently washing over your body. So that softness very slowly starts to seep perhaps down the face here, down the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders. And as we let those shoulders slide down and away from the ears, almost feeling as though this weight can just slide off our shoulders here. Anything we might have been holding on to, anything we've been carrying day by day. See if we can start to loosen our grip just that little bit more. And throughout our practice, that wave of softness or those ripples of softness, just going to continue to work their way throughout the rest of the body until eventually they hopefully come all the way down to the tips of our fingers, the tips of our toes. And let's just take a few moments as that happens to dive into the breath, so that we know when we allow the breath to be soft, so too can the body. We allow the breath to be steady, so too can the mind. So let the breath just flow with ease. There's no need to necessarily shape the breath to be anything particular unless you want to. So let's just take a few more deeper breaths here together. Take a deep breath in through the nose, fill up the lungs entirely. Deep breath out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. One final time, deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Beautiful. You can keep the eyes closed, but at any moment, if you want to check back in, you can open the eyes and welcome yourselves back into your little yoga space today. Let's just take a breath. And as we exhale, we're going to allow our right ear to fall down towards the right shoulder. Let the shoulders be heavy, let the head be heavy. And you might start to feel that stretch down the left side of the neck. Beautiful. Again, let the body be soft here. So notice whether we've kind of burrowed through the eyebrows or are we clenching through the back teeth. Taking an inhale. And as we exhale, we're very softly going to let the chin lower all the way down towards the chest. Again, head is heavy. And then on your next breath in, drift across to the other side, left ear down to the left shoulder. See how it feels on this side. Beautiful. Take an inhale. As we exhale, let's go again. Chin down towards the chest. Inhale, sweep across to the right. Really being mindful as we move. Notice how it feels as those tendons, those ligaments, those vital muscles within the neck. Just softly take the head through space. Deep breath in. Exhale. Chin lowers down towards the chest. Inhale to the left. Beautiful, well done. And again, as we exhale, chin down towards the chest. One more time, side to side. So inhale, come across to that right hand side, and you can stay exactly as you are now. Or we might go ahead and lift that right arm. Maybe the right hand comes to rest, maybe just above your left ear. Let this right arm get a little bit heavier. So let this right elbow kind of dive down towards the ground, making sure we're not pulling or at the neck here. So it's just using the weightiness of your arm to maybe increase that stretch through the side of the neck. And if you want that a little bit more, you might go ahead and stretch your left fingertips down to the ground and further shrug that shoulder down and away from the ear. Beautiful. Let's go for one more breath here. One more exhale. Beautiful. Let the palms of the hands softly return back down towards the knees. Chin lobes back down towards the chest. Lovely. Well done. Okay, as we inhale, let's take that across to the other side. So again, left ear down to the left shoulder, and you might just stay exactly as you are. Or maybe that left hand comes to rest just above your right ear, letting this left elbow dive down towards the ground. And again, if you want that a little bit more, stretching right fingertips down towards the mat, shrugging that shoulder down and away from the ear. Deep stretch here. Let's take another full breath. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's let the hands again return back to the knees, and let's again let the chin drop down towards the chest. Let's pause here for a moment. So the rest of the spine again is fairly tall here, but allowing the head to be heavy. Maybe your chin can even kind of rest on your chest here. Okay. And then again, you can stay as you are, or maybe we lift the hands, place them to the back of the head, interlace the fingertips, and let the elbows close in. So again, the use of the heaviness of our arms to increase that stretch through the back of the neck, making sure we're not pulling at the head here. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Lovely. Let's let the hands fall away. As you inhale, lift the head up through center. Let's take this into a little bit of seated cat and cow. So growing tall through the spine, we're going to look all the way up or as high as you want to go. Squeeze those shoulder blades together back behind you and shine this proud heart forwards. As we exhale, we're going to again tuck the chin towards the chest, but this time let's rock slightly back off our sit bones. Round the shoulders ever so slightly forwards and see if you can breathe into that space right between your shoulder blades. Beautiful. Let's go again. Deep breath in. Let's grow tall, 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 heart to sky. Big breath out, rounding through the back. Beautiful. Let's take this twice more. Take a deep breath in, heart to sky. Exhale, rounding through the back. So let the breath really guide you from one place to the next. Inhale, let's rise up. Final time, moving through this. Exhale, rounding through the back. Lovely. Let's inhale to come to our neutral spine, growing tall. Bring the palms of hands together in front of the heart space for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Lovely. As we inhale, we're going to shoot the fingertips up to the sky. Reach up as high as we can. Let the palms of the hands separate when they wish to. And you might just have this little wriggle side to side. So reaching up that little bit higher with one arm, then the other. Almost like you're reaching for something on the very top shelf here. So starting to lengthen through the side body just a tad, but keeping the sit bones rooting down towards the mat. Beautiful. Keep it going. Full breath in. Full breath out. Lovely, well done. From here, let's inhale, reach both arms all the way up to the sky. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our right hand down by our right hand side. Left arm is going to sweep up and over. And we might come into that slightly deeper side body stretch here. So feel free to go ahead, maybe creep those right fingertips a little bit further away from you. Softening through that right elbow, almost as if you want to send it down towards the ground. And it's not necessarily about how far we lean over to this right hand side. It's more going to be about the deeper you breathe. So the deeper breaths we can take, the more the rib cage is going to expand, and the more we're going to start to feel into that stretch within the side body. So again, take that deep breath in, send it to the left side body here. Exhale. Beautiful. Stretch out through those left fingertips as best as we can. One more inhale. One more exhale. Lovely. As we inhale, we're going to rise all the way up. Let's simply drift across to the other side. So left hand lands. We're going to sweep that right arm up and over. Lovely energy reaching out through those right fingertips. So lengthen through this right arm as best as you can. Rather than having a little bend through the elbow and letting the wrist hang heavy, let's again stretch out through those fingertips. Roll that right shoulder back ever so slightly. Take a breath. Take an exhale. Beautiful. Let's inhale to rise all the way up. Let's again send both arms up to the sky. Grow tall, tall, tall. As we exhale, we're going to sweep the arms back behind us, and you may just bring the hands to your lower spine and think about squeezing the elbows together, again shining this heart forwards, or you might wish to interlace the fingertips at your lower spine. And as you inhale, start to stretch the knuckles away, slightly deeper stretch for the shoulders, and again we lift up through the heart space. Take a breath. Beautiful. Now as we exhale, can we keep the hands interlaced and start to bring them round to the right hand side, so kind of nestle the fingertips as far round to the right as they can go. And then from here, again growing tall through the spine, take an inhale. As we exhale, again we're going to let that right ear fall down towards the right shoulder. So it's a slightly deeper stretch, or maybe just a different stretch through the left side of the neck. Well done. Take a breath. Take an exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the head up through center. Let's go ahead and stretch the knuckles back behind us. Lengthen the arms as best as we can. Can you also lift the hands away from your back body slightly? Beautiful. Take an inhale. As we exhale, nestle the hands to the left side of your body now. So again, bring them as far around as they can go. Take a breath. Exhale, left ear down towards that left shoulder. Slightly deeper stretch through the right side of the neck. Lovely. Let's go for one more. Exhale. Let's go ahead. Inhale, lift the head up through center. Stretch the knuckles away one final time. Beautiful. And as we exhale, let's release the hands. Bring the hands all the way back down towards your knees here. And you might come back to a little seated cat and cow here. So you might take the heart forwards through space and then send it back behind you, very similar to what we did just a moment ago. Or we might find there's a little bit more freedom within the torso, within the rib cage. So you might start to send it round and round in a nice big circle, as much of a circle as we can manage. Beautiful. And it doesn't need to be anything super precise. It doesn't even need to look graceful in any way. Just starting to find that little bit more freedom, perhaps that little bit more fluidity within our spines. Lovely, well done. And imagine as you're kind of moving around in this way, bring your awareness to all these internal organs. So within our rib cage, we know we hold so much of our vital organs. We hold our lungs, our heart, kidneys, bladder, so on and so forth. So Imagine as you wriggle around here, we're giving all those internal organs this kind of massage. They're all kind of molding up against one another. And that's just going to help that blood flow increase to those vital organs. And again, send it all the way around throughout the rest of our body. So almost like we're giving our organs kind of a little boost here. Beautiful. From here, let's just change direction if we haven't already. So if you're sticking with a circular motion, just going round and round the other way, a couple of times. One way might feel a little bit more fluid in our bodies, it might feel a little bit more spacious. So again, just notice. Keep sending it around and around. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Okay, from here, without necessarily coming to an abrupt stop here, let's gradually bring that movement to a close. So again, finding that we can sit up nice and tall. And let's go ahead, let's actually extend the legs out in front. So we've been in cross leg for quite some time there, so it might be quite nice just to extend the legs out in front, maybe peel the flesh out from underneath the sit bones, feel the bony parts of your bum really root down to the ground. Maybe there's just a wriggle of the toes, a little rotation of the ankles maybe. And if you find it perhaps a challenge to sit up nice and tall here, if you find that we're kind of rounding through the back and almost sinking back off our sit bones, maybe we prefer to lean into the hands back behind us, lift up through the heart space, and as best we can, shrug those shoulders down and away from those ears. You may also then begin to think about activating through the legs a little bit more, so we might start to dig the heels into the ground, toes pointing up to the sky. If you wanted to, you could have a little bend through the knees, takes just a little bit of pressure off the hamstrings here. So if you're happy here, feel free to stay exactly as you are, or maybe we take a deep breath in. Now as we exhale, we're going to start to reach the fingertips forwards. Now again, you can do this with a bend through the knees. It's just going to help that kind of orientation of the pelvis here. Thinking about sending your sit bones back and down behind you as we fold, leading with the belly, chest, then chin. So folding with as much of a straight spine as we can manage. Okay. So keeping the legs fairly active. So again, dig the heels down into the ground. Toes almost as if they want to peel back towards the face. Lovely, well done. And again, if this is the first little bits of movement we're taking today, this might feel a little bit, perhaps a little bit intense for the body. So again, go as easy as we can. We might not necessarily be into our deepest fold just yet. Again, we're only arriving here. It's only about the first minute or so here. Okay. And let the hands really softly land down to the ground. So it's not about reaching for the toes, the ankles, or the shins. Let them come down towards the mat, or you might even flip the palms of the hands up, backs the hands down to the ground. And that takes away that temptation to grip the mat and kind of force the body forward. So take that temptation completely away. Palms of the hands exposed up to the sky. And you can still have this little bit of movement. You might have a little sway from side to side, especially if we're really feeling the very depths of the stretch here and it's feeling really potent in our bodies. Again, see if we can find that little bit of a sway. Again, allowing that softness to slowly continue working its way down throughout the rest of our bodies here. Okay. Let's take a couple more breaths. Slow, steady inhale. Slow, steady exhale. You might feel as though we can begin to creep the hands just that little bit further forwards. 2 more breaths. Big inhale. Big exhale. Let's go for 1 more. And an exhale. Beautiful. From here, let's bring the palms of the hands back down to the ground. Slowly creep those fingertips back towards you. You're going to rise all the way up. And then from here, let's bring the hands towards the left knee. Take that left knee in towards the chest for a moment. Maybe just give it a little squeeze, a little hug in towards the chest, a little shimmy, a little shake from side to side. And then from here, let's let that left knee fall out to the left-hand side. And the sole of your left foot is going to come towards the inside of that right leg. Again, as you feel your sit bones rooting down to the ground, notice whether we've kind of angled ourselves more towards the left. Can we keep our torso facing over this right leg? So it might be a little tiny twist for the upper body here. Again, fingertips come down, framing that right leg. Similar stretch here, but just focusing on the one leg now. So take a deep breath in, grow tall. As you exhale, start to creep the fingertips forward, leading with the belly, then the chest, then the chin. Beautiful. Okay. Now I know it's really tempting to kind of release completely through the back of the neck and let the forehead dive down towards the knee, but we're going to be a little bit more active in this stretch today. So finding as much length through the spine as we can go, sending the chin perhaps down towards your shin here. Beautiful. And again, you might have the palms, the hands up to the sky, taking away that temptation. Lovely, well done. So we might feel as though we can fold just that little bit more here when we allow ourselves just to focus on one leg primarily. Okay, couple more breaths. So we're going to allow ourselves to be in these shapes for just a little bit longer. So we really just get to dive on in here. Okay, maybe we take roughly 3 more. Love, let's go for 2 more. 1 more. Lovely, really well done. Let's softly creep the fingertips back towards us, rolling up through the spine, stacking up bone by bone. Take your time, it's not a race. And then from here, let's bring that left hand to the outside edge of that left knee. I'm going to point it all the way up to the sky, and you might keep your left foot to the inside of the right leg, or you might lift it up and over and cross it to the outside. Can we press that left big toe down towards the ground? Let's bring the left hand back behind us, push down through those left fingertips, almost using it as a kickstand for our spine so the spine can stay nice and tall. We're going to stretch our right fingertips up towards the sky, lengthen as far as you can. So again, imagine you're reaching up for something on the very highest shelf. And then from here, take a breath. As we exhale, we're going to start to bring this elbow down. Maybe it hooks to the outside edge of the left knee, so kind of anchoring into this twist. Now, sometimes this elbow to knee connection just doesn't feel great. So if you want to give yourselves a little bit more space, maybe instead we just hug the thigh into the chest, and it might just feel a little bit nicer for you. Again, you might notice as we start to twist towards this left-hand side, the belly is getting slightly compressed. Again, those internal organs are getting that lovely little massage. So again, with that slight compression, let's just see if we can breathe as deeply as we can. Remember, we have this full 360 expansion of our rib cage. So it's not just the belly that moves forwards and back as we breathe. It's this 360 expansion. So breathe into the side body, breathe into the back body as well here. Maybe there's a little roll of that left shoulder back. You might even look back behind you here. Beautiful, really well done. 2 more breaths. So when we inhale, let's think about finding length. As we exhale, thinking about twisting a little bit more, maybe. 1 more. Exhale. Lovely. Let's inhale to come all the way back around. Take your time. Wrap the arms around that left shin. Let's draw it in towards the chest to give it another little hug, a little squeeze. And then from here, let's go ahead and send that left leg all the way out in front. Okay. You can let the left leg rest for a moment. Let's bring our awareness to the right side. So right knee comes in towards the chest. Again, give it that little hug. Okay, see how the hips are feeling here. And then you're going to let that right knee fall out to the side, sole of the right foot to the inside of that left leg. And again, we think about really nestling those sit bones down, sending your sit bones back and down towards the ground, almost on this kind of diagonal line back behind you, okay? Fingertips framing that left leg. So again, angle our torso over that left leg. Dig the heel down, toes pointing up to the sky. Deep breath in. As we exhale, let's again softly creep those fingertips forwards, gradually coming into that stretch, leading belly, chest, and chin. And we might really notice here a clear difference between right and left side. We're all going to be born with these kind of imbalances in the body, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just something to notice. Okay, so if you feel that now, again, just take in all of those sensations. And just allow yourselves to soften into the fold. So again, resist that temptation to reach for the toes or the ankle or the shin. Let the hands just softly land wherever they land. Beautiful. Okay, allowing ourselves to be in this shape for a little bit of time. Similar amount of time what we did on the other side. Okay. Slow, steady inhales. Slow, steady exhales. Imagine you can feel the breath moving up and down the length of your spine, or up and down the length of this left leg here. And again, as we inhale, let's think about finding that little bit more length. As we exhale, maybe we're allowed to dive that little bit further as the body surrenders here. Again, nothing happens by force. Okay, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's go for 2 more. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 1 more. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Lovely, really well done. As you inhale, again, let's start to creep the fingertips back towards us, slowly rolling up through the spine. And let's bring the right hand to the outside edge of the right knee. You're going to gently point it back up to the sky. And again, you're more than welcome to keep that right foot to the inside of that left leg, or you might lift it up and over and cross it to the outside. Beautiful. Right hand comes back behind you this time. Again, push the fingertips into the ground so we can grow tall through the spine. Left fingertips now reach up high as they can go. Reach that object from the highest shelf. And as we exhale, we're going to bring that left elbow and maybe it hooks to the outside edge of that right knee. Or again, feel free to give yourselves more space by bringing the hand to the thigh instead. Lovely. And you can either gaze out towards the right hand side, or if you wish, you might start to roll that right shoulder back and start to gaze back behind you. Beautiful. Breathing as deeply as we can, feeling into that 360 expansion here, taking up space. Let's go for 1 more breath. And 1 more exhale. Really well done. Let's inhale to come all the way back around. Take your time. Wrap the arms around that right shin. You're going to uncross that right leg. 1 final little squeeze in towards the chest. And then we can send that right leg all the way out in front. Beautiful. We're going to come back to that seated forward fold with both legs extended again, just to see if there's a little bit difference. Now that we've progressed a little bit throughout our practice, maybe the body is starting to soften that little bit more. Again, if it feels the exact same, no worries. So let's work through that process, making sure sit bones rooting down towards the ground. Already we've got this little anterior tilt, so lifting the sit bone or lifting the tailbone up ever so slightly, heart reaching forwards, deep breath in. As we exhale, maybe we start to creep the fingertips forward and we dive into that fold. Lovely, well done. So the intensity of the stretch might be the same here, but again, just notice whether something feels different. Do we feel as though the heart is able to sink further? Do we feel that little bit more spacious within the hamstrings? Again, just see what's there for you, and again, nothing precise has to happen. And in fact, nothing really has to happen at all here. Just seeing what's happening inside your body here. So there's no right or wrong. Notice where you're at in your own variation of the shape. Okay. And again, let's take a couple more breaths. Let's go for 3. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 2 more. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 1 more. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Lovely, well done. As we inhale it again, creep the fingertips slowly back towards us. We're going to gently roll on up through the spine, stacking up bone by bone. Okay, from here, let's gently lean into the hands back behind us. You're going to slide both feet in. And you might need to have this little shimmy down the length of the mat, just making sure we've got plenty of space back behind us. We're going to let the soles of the feet kiss together, let the knees drop out to the side. Now again, I'm going to give you options for this. You might stay seated. You might let the hands rest down on the soles of the feet. Let the knees fall out to the sides as far as they want to go. And you might just sit up nice and tall here. Let's take an inhale. Or maybe as we exhale, again, we're going to start to dive forwards. We've done a lot of forward folds today. And perhaps this is going to be our final one of our practice. So again, just dive as far forwards as you want to go. But if you're happy just being upright, and maybe again we lean into the hands just to help us find that tall spine, feel free to be there instead. Okay, take whatever variations of the shape that are going to feel good for you. Okay. And if we're diving forwards, let's again lead belly, chest, and chin. And start to notice whether we're gripping anywhere in the body. Sometimes it's really tempting to grip onto the feet and almost kind of pull the heart that closer down. So if you're noticing that in your bodies, maybe we let go of the feet entirely, and again, maybe backs the hands come down to the ground, palms the hands exposed up towards the sky. And again, just gently diving down here. Beautiful. Take a couple more breaths. Maybe the backs of the hands slowly slide that a little bit further forwards. Okay. Release through the back teeth. Maybe you let the bottom jaw fall away from the top. Lips might even part here. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Again, finding softness even in the tiniest of spaces in our bodies. Okay. Perhaps it's 3 more breaths. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. 2 more. One more deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Really lovely. Well done. Let's flip the palms, the hands down to the ground. Push down through the fingertips. Again, we're going to gently unravel. Come all the way back up to the top. Can we keep the legs as they are? Maybe bring the hands back behind you. And we're going to start to recline back. So again, have that little shimmy forwards if needs be. Let's again come all the way down, lying onto our back, still allowing the knees to drop down out to the side. And with the arms, you might like to take up a little bit more space here. So you might bring the arms out into a T shape. Or if we're a little bit limited in space, maybe it's a cactus shape with the arms. So a little 90-degree angle in the elbows here. And can we just start to allow the body to really sink down? So again, we've done a lot of forward folds. So as you bring your spine to rest down towards the mat, let the shoulders peel back, let the heart be exposed up to the sky. Lovely, well done. And if you find at any point this gets a little bit too much for the hips, know that you're more than welcome to bring the knees to a close, and you might prefer to let the knees knock together, wriggle the feet slightly out to the side. Beautiful, but if we're still in that butterfly shape, it's gonna be roughly 5 breaths here. And with every exhale, again, I really invite you to feel this sinking sensation. Feel that soft pull of gravity, welcoming you closer and closer down towards the earth. Roughly about 3 more breaths. It's amazing how quickly those 5 breaths can go. So indulge in our time here. One more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Beautiful, okay. Maybe we start to reach the hands down towards the outer edge of the thighs. Encourage those knees to come to a close if they're not already. Again, let's allow the knees to all knock together now. Step the feet maybe a little bit wider than your hips. And allow the lower spine to come down towards the mat. So there might just be that little lifted hips rolling down bone by bone. So letting the lower spine press down towards the mat here. Okay, and again, you might take the arms out to the side, whatever feels best. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then very softly from here, we're just going to start to let the knees sway from side to side. So you might let them sway down to one side. Maybe it's the left side first of all. You can let the right hip peel away from the mat ever so slightly. Beautiful. And then lifting the knees back up to the sky. And making our way across to the side. So as you send the knees to the right, let the left hip lift away from the ground slightly. Beautiful. And just keeping that going. One side, then the other. And perhaps feeling if we can slow this movement down a little bit. So there's no need to rush. Notice how the body feels as we take this little bit of movement. Okay. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Beautiful, really well done. And then from here, let's all bring both knees to point up to the sky. You're then again going to allow the knees to fall down to the left-hand side. Keep the knees staggered, so keep the knees apart from one another. And you may think about lifting your left ankle and placing it on top of your right knee. So allowing this right knee to dive a little bit closer down to the ground. Again, your right sit bone lifts slightly away from the mat, and we might start to feel this deep stretch through the right hip flexor, but it also might come up a little bit higher, kind of to your abdominals here. Beautiful. So allow the body to get heavier and heavier. So with every breath out, we sink just that little bit more. Okay. 2 more breaths. One more inhale. One more exhale. Really well done. Let that left ankle softly fall away. Bring it back down to the ground. Take the time to bring the knees back up to the sky. Let's repeat that on the other side. So you're going to let both knees fall down to the right hand side this time. And again, feel free to stay exactly as you are. Or we might go ahead and lift the right ankle and place it to the outside edge of that left knee. So letting that left knee dive down towards the ground. There's that tricky stretch across the hip flexor, but also a little bit towards the abdominals. Okay. Let's just take the time to be here. Let's go for one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Beautiful. Right ankle softly falls back down towards the ground. Let's take one more moment to lift the knees back up to the sky. And you might just take a moment to again push the feet into the ground, lift the hips for a moment, and then roll down through the spine. Let the lower spine meet the mat. Let's maybe go ahead and draw the knees in towards the chest just to curl ourselves up into a little ball and really let the lower spine press down towards the earth now. So there might be this little sway from side to side, almost as if we can give our lower spine a little massage down towards the mat. Take a breath in and take a breath out. And then from here, feel free to literally unfold into whatever shape you prefer to take here. So letting go of the knees, perhaps letting the feet softly land back down towards the ground. You can stay here with the knees bent, letting them knock together maybe. Or we might go ahead and lengthen the legs out in front. Separating the legs ever so slightly, let the feet or the toes flop out to the side. Hands might rest on belly or chest, or again, you might take up space here. Maybe the arms come out to the side. We're just going to allow ourselves to completely and utterly rest here. Start to notice how the body feels now. Notice any changes, any similarities, any differences. And again, just let that breath move through you. Perhaps we remind ourselves of that journey, of that little droplet of softness that landed at the very crown of our head and slowly worked its way down. Where have those ripples of softness reached to yet? Perhaps we've made our way down through the spine, the torso, and that softness is just making its way now down towards the hips and the pelvis, the thighs, the big powerhouse muscles of the legs. Gradually coming down to the knees, shins, calves, and eventually all the way down to the very tips of your toes, the very tips of your fingertips. Okay. As always, whatever we start to notice here, just know that it was exactly meant to be. In fact, all I invite you to do for the final few moments of our practice together is to just rest, just breathe, and just be. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Softly sigh out through the mouth. Again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's go for one final time. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. And let's really gently start to wriggle through fingertips and toes. Maybe having a little rotation of the wrists and the ankles. And then from here, allow that movement to build into anything you'd like it to be. Maybe we take a good old stretch along the mat. Have a big old yawn, maybe. You might prefer to draw the knees into the chest again, whatever you prefer. Beautiful. And as you continue to softly wake yourselves back up here, let's choose a side, either the left or the right, and begin to roll to that one side. You might pause there for a moment as you curl yourselves up into a little ball, maybe make a little pillow out of the hands for the head to rest on. And then when we feel ready, let's push down through the hands. So use the hands to help you as you rise all the way back up to that comfortable seat. So coming back to a very similar place to how we started. Nestle those sit bones again down into the ground. Palms to hands land upon those knees. Beautiful. And let's again take a breath just to lift those shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, send them down and away. And as always, we seal our practice here with the final blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, bring the palms, the hands together in front of the heart. And we bow. Lovely, you can steadily rise all the way up when you're ready. Thank you so much everyone for joining me for that little seated practice. I hope we do in fact feel a little bit grounded, maybe nicely stretched out as well. So I hope you go on to have a lovely rest of your day or rest of your week, whatever it may be. And I hope to see you again in roughly 2 weeks when I'll be back with another practice for you. So alright, I'll see you then. Mwah! Bye. Hey Yogi, thank you so much for practicing with me. I really hope you enjoyed your practice. Just thought I'd sneak in at the end here and say if you are wanting to practice a little bit more, if you perhaps want to dive a little bit deeper into the beautiful world of yoga, then the great news is that I'm offering one-to-ones online. So you can join me from the comfort of your home, me from mine, and we can get together either live online or I'll pre-record some classes just for you. And the beauty of those practices is that they are tailored to what you desire. So if you're just wanting to learn a little bit more about yoga, if you're a beginner and you're not quite sure what's what and you want to get a deeper understanding of anatomy or how the body kind of moves around on the mat, or maybe you're just wanting to try slightly different practices. If you're wanting to try yin yoga, for example, or maybe we're kind of building up the confidence to maybe return to the studio in person and we're not quite got that confidence just yet. So if any of those speak to you, or maybe it's something else entirely, do feel free to reach out to me. You can either check me out on Instagram, send me a message over there, or just send me an email and I would love to practice with you. Whatever it is, I'd love to tailor the practice to suit you, suit your individual needs, and we can go on this little journey together. So as I say, all the details are below if you want to have a chat, and I hope to hear from you very soon. All right, lots of love. Mwah.